What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I was just gonna give y'all a little update. I was gonna take y'all through the vineyard. I think I had put all the posts on on another video. I got some drone footage yesterday that I might try to upload. The main reason I wanted to make a video today is because I'm going to show you what I'm doing. We have a little bit of rain in the forecast. So what I'm doing is I cut yesterday, so I'm taking lanes like this and I am dragging it with my harrow drag to make it look like this. So this field had rye planted in it last winter. It had a winter rye, and when we cut the rye, I believe I had dissed it in, or dissed after we cut the rye. I had dissed the field, so you see it looks like just a lot of dirt. So I'm dragging the harrow drag, and you can see some of the lines from the drag. But pretty much what I'm trying to do is scratch the surface. I'm gonna spread some grass seed. So you can see these lanes have been done. This lane has not. And I scalped it kind of low as I could with my lawnmower. So basically what I'm trying to do is, I want to try to level a couple spots that I probably should have leveled a little bit more. I did not plant any of this grass. This is all like a natural grass and a weed. Some of the weed stalks are kind of thick. This stuff grows like 2 inches a day. So until I plant the grass, I'm gonna drag today. Hopefully I will not have to cut again, but I may, depending on when I plant the grass seed. So I did not want to, my options were to spray the entire field to kill everything. But due to the fact that I'm gonna be planting grapes that will be eaten, I did not want to spray the entire field. It would have killed everything, or I could have dissed it under. But I'm gonna try to have some faith in the grass seed and in the rain. Even if it's a mix, there's a couple sprays that you can spray later that kill the weeds and not the grass, that aren't as strong. And we should have plenty of time. Even if I did spray the whole field, we'll have plenty of time before I plant my muscadines. But I don't want to get in the habit. I try my best not to spray any type of poison or glyphosate, especially near any type of food. Even at home, my grapevines and my fruit trees, apples and blueberry bushes, I will weed eat. It will take an hour every time I cut my grass, which is weekly. It'll take an hour of weed eating. But it also, if you're gonna plant any food that has besides some fertilizer, if you're gonna try to do without any pesticides, herbicides, stuff like that, I don't want to start off with poisoning the field immediately. I know this field has been sprayed in the past, probably 100 times, but it's typical in agriculture practices. So I know a lot of stuff in this day and age, as agriculture changes, a lot of people do not want the glyphosates due to the chemicals staying in the ground and spraying near the foods, and then it gets on the foods, and a lot of stuff that you get from the grocery store. You're supposed to, fruits and vegetables, you're supposed to wash it, but there's a big push for more natural practices. So we want to take care of the ground and take care of this farm, and we want to I'm not going to promise I won't spray any ditch banks for the weeds that are far away from the food for now, until I get them under control. Then when I get them under control, you know, I'll weed eat. But like I said, it's takes a lot of time, and I know why a lot of farmers do it, because if you're farming thousands of acres or hundreds of acres even, you know, it's a way to do it and be done. Even corn and soybeans and stuff, that like it's sprayed after it's planted, you know, some stuff that doesn't kill the crop but kills the weeds around it, and it does help generate a better crop, a better yield, due to the plant not having to fight with the weeds for nutrition. But like I said, I'm going to try my best to not spray. I know it's going to be a lot of extra time and energy, but it's all good. So I'll show you guys the drag that I'm using, and like I said, basically all this does is roughs up the surface. A lot of people use them in horse pastures. Arenas, stuff like that. It does make the pretty lines, but pretty much when you drag it, these tines right here, they pull and they drag. And I did added a board on the back for some extra weight. So I got this one from Tractor Supply. I believe it's a 8x8, and it's pretty good for, especially when there's not grass growing. It's pretty good at leveling the field. I know before we planted our winter rye last year, after I dissed everything, I went back around and drug everything. So it looks kind of ugly, especially now that it's ripping through some of this ripping through some of this grass and some of the weeds. But if I can get a couple of small trenches and am able to you know, get that grass spread where it can get like a 1/4 inch, and what I'll do is flip the drag to the non-aggressive side, and then I will cover everything up. So I'm not sure how it's going to work. I've never planted grass seed in something that already had this, besides my cow pasture, but it wasn't as thick, and it was more of a grass, not a weed. I have drugged that before, or did a light disc and then overseeded that, and that did well. So we will give this a shot to try to get some regular grass growing, in order to get everything green where we can mow it. And so this is the first step. All right, appreciate it, guys. All right, guys, so another thing that I want to mention, if you have animals, those drags do work good in a pasture, especially like a cow pasture. It helps break up some of the manure, especially once it dries out, gets in clods. It'll go through, bust it, spread it out, so it doesn't sit. And I know sometimes you can get like beetles and worms and stuff, but I know that drag is really good for busting up those cow patties once they get dry, and kind of spreading them around. Even if they're not dry, they're good, but you can sometimes that'll have a little odor for it. But if you have a heavily concentrated area where your livestock is, around, you know, where you put your hay, or where you feed them, or where you put your water at, that drag works wonders. So I will put the link below to that. Like I said, I got it from our Tractor Supply. It comes in 2 pieces. It's an 8x8, but you can do 4x8, and it's got, you know, an aggressive side, a non-aggressive side. You can flip it with the tines up, so there's different ways that you can attach it and flip the back side, to depending on exactly what you're dragging. Like I said, I've never drug anything this heavily concentrated with the grass and the roots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go clockwise, then I'll go counterclockwise. I'm also going the long way through the rows, and then I'll go the short way through the 12-foot rows, which is the way that we're going to plant them. So it's ugly for a few days, but it's just, I mean, it's just prep. You got to do it, especially if you want to overseed, and then it comes back looking better than ever. Like I said, we used that when we did our wildflowers and our zinnias, and then we also did that in this field after we disced it up to try to level it out. So we're gonna do that today, and I'll catch you guys later.